Our most authentic desires are not mere whims. They are in fact whispers of the soul, guides to our process of individuation, the path to becoming the complete and unique individual we are destined to be. Think of that deep longing for a particular career, a specific type of relationship, or even a lifestyle that seems wrong to others but resonates within you as an undeniable truth. This is the self, our total psychic center, calling us. It uses desire as an internal map, indicating the experiences, challenges, and connections we need to integrate aspects of our personality, develop dormant potentials, and bring us closer to our wholeness. For example, the desire for a simpler life connected to nature may not be an escape from reality, but a call to integrate a part of you that yearns for authenticity and stillness, a vital step toward personal growth, away from social expectations. It is our only way to connect with the world and our deepest essence. Many of our most powerful desires are not just personal. They resonate with universal patterns of the human psyche, the archetypes, the desire to belong, to be a hero, to create, to love and be loved, to seek wisdom, or to find a safe home. These are all echoes of archetypal forces that have shaped the human experience for millennia. When we feel an overwhelming desire for something that seems greater than ourselves, it may be the hero archetype driving us to face a challenge, or the great mother archetype calling us to nurture or be nurtured. Recognizing the archetypal dimension of our desires does not make them less personal, but rather places them within a broader context of meaning. It helps us understand that we are not alone in our longings and that, by honoring them, we are participating in an ancient dance of the human soul. This allows us to see our behavior not as an eccentricity, but as a legitimate expression of a deep psychological strength. And what happens to the desires we cannot or cannot directly fulfill? Jung teaches us that the psyche is a self-regulating system that seeks balance. If a legitimate desire is continually frustrated or neglected, the psychic energy associated with it does not disappear. It can be redirected in compensatory ways. Sometimes this compensation can be creative and productive. For example, someone with an intense desire for adventure and exploration who cannot travel might find satisfaction in reading epics, writing fiction, or even exploring new ideas and intellectual concepts. This is the psyche finding an outlet for libido energy, transforming an unfulfilled desire into a force for the development of other functions or interests. It is a way for our inferior function perhaps to manifest itself, seeking integration. This behavior is not a weakness but an ingenious way of connecting with the inner and outer world, finding purpose and expression even in limited circumstances. For our desires to become allies rather than enemies, awareness is key. Unconscious and unexamined desires can lead us down destructive paths, dictated by impulses or the shadow. But when we bring a desire into the light of consciousness, we can filter it, question it, and understand it on a deeper level. This means asking, where does this desire come from? What does it truly seek? Does it serve myself, or is it an escape, an inadequate compensation, or an external imposition? Awareness allows us to discern between an authentic longing that will lead us to individuation and a superficial desire that can lead us astray. It is the ego, in dialogue with the unconscious and the self, that learns to guide the energy of libido constructively. This process of reflection and discernment transforms a raw impulse into a conscious intention, aligning our longings with our deepest values and our life purpose. It is not about repression, but about wise direction. It's crucial to recognize that, like everything in the psyche, our desires also have a shadow side. When a desire, however legitimate in its essence, becomes excessive, compulsive, or disintegrated, it can become a tyrannical master rather than a guide. The desire for recognition, for example, can become an incessant search for external validation, leading to exhaustion and a loss of authenticity. The desire for security can manifest as a paralyzing aversion to risk and change, impeding growth. Jung would warn us that the shadow of our desires manifests when they are taken to the extreme, when the energy of the libido obsessively fixates on a single object or goal, ignoring other needs of the soul. This can lead to isolation, dependence, chronic dissatisfaction, and even self-destruction. But this shadow side is not a signal to eradicate desire, but rather to understand and integrate it. It's an invitation to look at where energy is flowing out of balance and ask, What part of me am I trying to overfeed and what is being neglected? Recognizing this shadow is the first step toward bringing balance. The key then is not to eradicate the desire, which would be like trying to extinguish the very flame of life, but rather to deeply understand and integrate it. It's to ask, what is the genuine underlying need behind this drive that has become excessive or limiting? If the desire for recognition has transformed into a relentless pursuit of external validation, leading to exhaustion and a loss of authenticity, the shadow invites us to explore the deeper need to be seen, valued, or to feel competent. Instead of fighting the desire for recognition, we can seek healthier, more integrated ways to nurture this need, perhaps by focusing on genuine contributions that resonate with our values, or by cultivating self-acceptance that doesn't depend on the approval of others. Similarly, if the desire for security manifests as a paralyzing aversion to risk and change, preventing growth and the exploration of new possibilities, the shadow challenges us to look at the underlying fear. It is an invitation to build inner security, based on resilience and trust in our ability to deal with the unknown, rather than relying exclusively on immutable external circumstances. Dealing with the shadow of our desires is a process of internal dialogue, not battle. It involves bringing awareness to these imbalanced aspects, not to judge them, but to understand them and redirect their powerful energy. This can involve small, gentle steps, dedicating time to self-reflection on the origin of a compulsive desire, seeking external perspectives from trusted people, or even expressing the energy of that desire in symbolic and creative ways. As Jung would suggest, it is an invitation to realign psychic energy, transforming what seemed like an enemy into an ally for our wholeness. In doing so, we do not deny a part of ourselves but integrate it, allowing the light of consciousness to illuminate and heal. We've reached the end of this journey, but it's only the beginning of your own exploration. We've seen that our desires, that driving force that often confuses or makes us feel guilty, are actually much more than mere superficial longings. They are the manifestation of our vital psychic energy, the whispers of the self guiding us on the path of individuation, echoes of universal archetypes that connect us to humanity, and even forms of compensation when something in our psyche seeks balance. Carl Jung's psychology offers us a powerful lens to reframe how we view and interact with our deepest desires. Far from being character flaws or sources of shame, they are internal compasses, pointing the way to our personal growth and the discovery of the complete and authentic person we are destined to be. Yes, they have their shadow, and when not addressed consciously, they can lead us down destructive paths. But it is precisely in this recognition of the shadow that lies the greatest opportunity for growth and integration. Therefore, I invite you to embrace your desires, not blindly, but with awareness, curiosity, and deep self-reflection. Allow yourself to feel what you long for, but also ask, where does this longing come from? What does it truly seek in me? Does it serve me or limit me? Honoring your inner rhythm, recognizing your deepest needs, and directing the energy of your desires wisely is an act of profound self-acceptance and a courageous step toward your authenticity. There's no right or wrong way to desire, only your unique way. By allowing yourself to explore and integrate this vital part of yourself, you not only empower yourself but also contribute your truth and wholeness to the world. Your journey is unique, and your desires are an integral part of your map. Reflect on your own desires. Which ones have you been judging or repressing? Which ones are clamoring for your attention in ways you haven't yet grasped? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation about the soul's incredible journey and how we can transform our desires into allies for our personal growth. And if you'd like to continue exploring Carl Jung's fascinating concepts, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more insights like this. The journey of self-discovery is by its nature continuous. The insights we explored about the nature of desires through the lens of Jungian psychology are not an endpoint, but a vibrant invitation to even deeper exploration. If you've been touched by these truths, it's because the psyche is always in motion, always seeking wholeness. The true magic lies not in fixing our desires, but in developing a conscious and respectful relationship with them. Think of your desires as rivers flowing through your inner landscape. Some are calm streams, others are raging torrents. The point is not to stem the flow, but to learn to navigate them, to understand where they come from and where they want to go. How then can we deepen this connection and make this navigation wiser? First, cultivate the art of inner listening. In a world screaming with distractions and external expectations, the voice of our authentic desires can be an easily muffled whisper. Set aside moments of stillness, not to judge, but to observe. What is your soul truly seeking? Is it the desire for security that manifests as a quest for financial stability? Or is it a deeper need for inner peace that hides behind this search? Is it the longing for love that translates into a search for a partner? Or is the self crying out for a deeper connection with itself? This active listening, without the pressure of having to act immediately, allows the wisdom of the unconscious to reveal itself. It's like sitting by a still lake, waiting for the surface to calm so you can see the bottom. Second, engage with the shadow of your desires with compassion. We've seen that the shadow isn't an enemy to be annihilated, but a part of us that yearns for integration. When you notice a desire becoming excessive, compulsive, or self-destructive, whether it's the relentless pursuit of validation, paralyzing perfectionism, or procrastination that hides a deep fear, instead of blaming yourself, ask, what is this behavior trying to tell me? What legitimate need is being expressed in an imbalanced way? Perhaps perfectionism is a shadow of the desire for excellence, but one that has become a burden. Compassion here means recognizing the original positive intention, however distorted it may have become. Instead of fighting the monster of the dark desire, invite it to the table, listen to its story, and find healthier ways to nourish the underlying need. This can be as simple as allowing yourself imperfections, seeking support in a community, or finding a creative outlet for pent-up energy. Third, recognize the collective connection in your longings. While your desires are deeply personal, they also resonate with the tapestry of human experience. The desire to create, to love, to explore, to find meaning. These are threads that connect us all. By honoring your own desires, you are not only dedicating yourself to your individual growth, you are also participating in a grand archetypal drama, contributing your unique melody to the symphony of life. Understanding that your challenges and aspirations are not isolated, but part of a universal pattern, can bring a profound sense of belonging and purpose. You are not alone in your quest. Finally, embrace the freedom that comes with awareness. True freedom is not the absence of desires, but the ability to consciously choose how you relate to them. When a desire arises, you have the power to discern. Is it a call from the self for individuation, or an echo of an unintegrated need from the shadow? Does it propel you forward or trap you in a repetitive cycle? This ability to discern is at the core of psychological autonomy. It is your internal compass, honed by self-reflection and Jungian understanding, that guides you through the complexities of your inner world. May this journey of understanding your desires be a path to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Your desires, when understood and integrated, are not mere whims, but the keys to unlocking your highest potential. They are the engine of your soul, and by learning to direct them wisely, you become the true architect of your existence. Continue to question, feel, and reflect. The self is always calling, and your desires are the language it uses to communicate. Listen carefully. This listening, however, is not a one-time event but an ongoing practice, as the psyche is in constant flux and with it, our desires. What seems like an unstoppable longing today may transform tomorrow, revealing a deeper layer of need. Jung taught us that the journey of individuation is dynamic. As we grow and integrate more of our shadow and our potential, our desires also mature. They don't disappear, but they refine, becoming more aligned with who we truly are and our life purpose. It's like a river that, along its course, finds new paths and deepens, but its flowing essence remains. But how does the psyche tell us about these evolving desires, especially those that still reside deep within the unconscious, waiting to be recognized and integrated? Often it does so through the language of symbols, dreams, and synchronicities. A recurring dream, for example, may not be just a random sequence of images, but a coded message about an unrecognized desire or an emotional need that needs attention. Perhaps you repeatedly dream about feeling trapped, or flying free, or searching for something you can't find. These symbols aren't literal. They point to internal states, aspirations, or fears that your authentic desires are trying to communicate. Synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem to have a purpose beyond chance, can also be the unconscious's way of nudging us toward our truest desires. Perhaps you're contemplating a career change and suddenly start seeing articles, people, and opportunities related to this new field come your way in unexpected ways. Jung saw these events as the manifestation of a causal principle of connection, where the inner and outer worlds meet, often to guide us toward our wholeness. By paying attention to these signs, you begin to build a richer, more intuitive map of your desires, realizing that they are not just products of your conscious mind, but part of a greater intelligence operating within and without you. For those seeking a more direct engagement with these messages from the unconscious, Jung bequeathed us the technique of active imagination. It's not passive fantasy, but a conscious and intentional dialogue with the figures and energies that emerge from the unconscious in response to a desire, a conflict, or a question. It's like entering a waking dream, where you can converse with the part of yourself that's expressing a desire, be it an archetypal figure, a symbolic animal, or a personified emotion. For example, if you have an intense desire for adventure but feel paralyzed by fear, you can sit in a relaxed state and invite the image of your fear to emerge. Ask it, "What are you trying to protect me from? What is your message?" Then listen to the response, allowing the images and words to emerge spontaneously. This active interaction allows the energy of desire to be understood, integrated, and transformed, rather than being repressed or acting destructively. It's a powerful way to give voice to what's hidden and find creative solutions to internal dilemmas. This deeper understanding, this attentive listening to symbols, and this dialogue with the unconscious prepare us for the next crucial step, the courage to live our desires consciously. It's not about blindly gratifying impulses or giving in to every whim, but about discerning which desires resonate with the truth of ourself, and then acting, or not acting, in a way that aligns with that truth. Sometimes courage can be following a path that society disapproves of because you know it's authentic to you. Other times, courage can be not following a desire that, at first glance, seems appealing, but that your inner wisdom reveals as a trap or an escape. It's the power to say yes to what nourishes your soul and no to what drains it, even if it means facing discomfort or external disapproval. It is in this continuous ballet between the conscious ego, which filters, discerns, and acts, and the unconscious self, which guides, inspires, and reveals, that true integration occurs. The ego, previously perhaps burdened by unfulfilled desires or dominated by the shadow, becomes a faithful servant of the self, a conscious guide for the soul's journey. It learns to translate the deep messages of the unconscious into meaningful actions in the conscious world, transforming the raw energy of desire into purpose and fulfillment. This conscious relationship with your desires not only prevents them from becoming your enemies, but transforms them into your most powerful allies, propelling you toward your wholeness and the full expression of who you are. This is the promise of Jungian psychology, to transform what could be a source of conflict into a source of strength and meaning, paving the way for a full and authentic life. And this full life is not a destination, but a path of constant discovery, where every desire, every dream, and every synchronicity are invitations to a deeper connection with one's own truth. To sustain this connection and continue navigating the rivers of your desires wisely, it's essential to understand that individuation isn't a final state to be achieved, but an ongoing process of becoming who you truly are. It's a constant dance between the conscious and the unconscious, where new layers of desires and needs emerge as you grow and expand. Imagine your psyche as a vast territory, and each authentic desire is a point of interest, a valuable resource that, once explored and integrated, reveals a new inner landscape. This ongoing exploration requires a stance of curiosity and non-judgment. Sometimes a desire that seemed resolved may resurface in a new form, or a latent desire may surface at an unexpected moment. This is not a setback, but an invitation to deeper understanding. Perhaps the desire for security that previously manifested as attachment to a stable job now reveals itself as a need for emotional security in your relationships, or the yearning for recognition that drove you to seek external validation now transforms into a desire for authentic self-expression, independent of the approval of others. This metamorphosis of desires is a testament to the vitality of libido, the Jungian psychic energy that never remains static, but constantly seeks new forms of life and expression. It's at this point that the courage to live your truth becomes not just an ideal, but a daily practice. It's not about blindly gratifying every impulse, but about discerning which desires, after listening internally and engaging with the shadow, resonate with yourself. And then, acting, or not acting, in a way that aligns with that truth. This might mean making choices that seem against the social grain, like changing careers at 40 to pursue a dormant passion, or prioritizing time for creativity over social commitments. It might mean the courage to express a need in a relationship, even if it brings initial discomfort, because you know it's essential to your integrity. Jung reminds us that the ego plays a crucial role in this process. It is not the master but the mediator, the faithful servant of the self. It is the conscious ego that learns to translate the deep messages of the unconscious, dreams, intuitions, authentic desires, into meaningful actions in the world. This translation is not always linear. It often requires a period of incubation, of reflection, of allowing ideas to develop. It is like an alchemist transforming raw elements into gold. Raw desire is purified by consciousness, transformed into purpose, and manifested constructively. Consider, for example, the archetypal desire to create. If this desire is repressed, it can lead to frustration or less satisfying forms of compensation. But when it is consciously recognized and integrated, the ego can direct libido energy toward learning a new skill, starting an artistic project, or even finding innovative solutions at work. Desire is no longer a burden, but a source of inspiration and vitality, propelling the person forward on their journey of individuation. This conscious integration of desires also empowers us to deal with the challenges and frustrations that are inevitable in life. Not all desires can be fulfilled exactly as we imagine, and some can even be redirected or transformed. But when we understand the underlying need, the deeper purpose behind the desire, we can find other avenues to satisfy that need. If the desire to travel to a distant place is currently unfeasible, psychic energy can be channeled into exploring the culture of that place through books, films, cuisine, or meticulously planning the trip for the future. Frustration becomes not a dead end, but a gateway to creativity and resilience. It is this capacity for adaptation and transformation that marks psychological maturity on the Jungian path. Desires are not seen as rigid goals that, if not achieved, result in failure. Instead, they are seen as flows of energy that can be shaped and directed by consciousness. The self, our total psychic center, is always guiding us toward fulfillment, and our desires are the messengers of this guidance. By embracing this perspective, you discover a profound freedom. The freedom to be who you are, to honor your truest longings, and to navigate life with a sense of purpose and authenticity. This freedom is not the absence of challenges, but the presence of a reliable internal compass. And it is this compass that will continue to guide you as you advance step by step on your unique journey of individuation, transforming each desire into a stepping stone to a richer and more meaningful existence. The next step, then, is to solidify this understanding and equip you with the mindset to apply these insights to your daily life, transforming theory into tangible experience. How can we keep this flame burning and continue to grow? The answer to keeping this flame alive lies in the continuous practice of self-observation and humility. The psyche, like a vast ocean, reveals its depths little by little. Don't expect to understand all your desires at once, nor to completely master the art of individuation in the blink of an eye. It's a lifelong process, a daily pilgrimage that requires patience and self-compassion. Set aside time for reflection, whether through journaling, guided meditation, meaningful conversations with trusted friends who understand your journey, or even the careful analysis of your dreams. These are the precious tools Jung bequeathed to us to unravel the mysteries of the unconscious and bring to light the desires that cry out for recognition and integration. Remember that the goal is not to eradicate bad desires or force the fulfillment of all desires indiscriminately. It is rather to cultivate a relationship of deep respect and wisdom with this vital energy that drives you. When a desire arises, instead of reacting impulsively or judging yourself, pause. Ask yourself honestly, is this desire aligned with my authentic self? Does it propel me toward wholeness and growth, or toward fragmentation and imbalance? By taking this reflective pause, you gain the power of awareness, the power to choose and direct the energy of libido in a way that truly serves your growth and well-being, rather than imprisoning you in destructive cycles. Ultimately, your deepest desires are not, and never have been, enemies to be fought. They are, in fact, invaluable messengers and guides. They are the subtle language of your soul, pointing you to your untapped potential and the paths that will lead you to your most authentic, complete, and fulfilled self. By embracing this Jungian perspective, you free yourself from social judgment and internal guilt, transforming the pursuit of your desires into a sacred journey of self-discovery and empowerment. And so the journey with your desires becomes a conscious and harmonious dance, a constant and enriching dialogue between what you yearn for in your ego and what your soul needs to fully flourish. You become the alchemist of your own psyche, transmuting the raw energy of desires into the gold of wisdom, purpose, and meaning. This is true individuation, living a life that resonates with your deepest truth, honoring every part of yourself, including your most complex and challenging longings. Therefore, I invite you to continue this fascinating exploration. Delve into your own desires with curiosity, courage, and compassion. What are the whispers of your soul that you've been ignoring or misinterpreting? What parts of yourself are ready to be acknowledged, integrated, and celebrated? Share your reflections and experiences in the comments below. Your journey is unique, valuable, and can inspire many others. If this video resonated with you and brought some clarity, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more profound insights into Jungian psychology, and activate the bell so you don't miss future videos. Remember, your inner compass is always there, waiting to be heard and followed wisely. Trust it,